Alright. We are starting the episode hot. Straight out of the gate with the boss. Pontiff Sullivan. Easily one of the best bosses in the game. Dual wielding a dark sword along with the flame sword. And that sword, that flaming sword, is, again, channeling the profaned flame. And Pontiff, I'm not sure of the significance of the title, but if I'm not mistaken, it's some type of upper echelon clergyman. So it kind of seems like he is in service to Aldrich, but the more we kind of find out, the Pontiff has been kind of manipulating the situation from behind the scenes. So now he's in his second form. And the fight just took an interesting turn. So his shadow leads the movement, which at first you just kind of think, oh, okay, I know what he's gonna do next. Oh, this is, a little premonition. But it completely changes the rhythm of how you have to handle this fight. Because where ordinarily you might dodge and then try to come back to do some damage, you can't do that because the other attack is coming. So even though you may register that it's telling you what he's doing ahead of time, it does not allow you to really retaliate effectively. It's a really fun fight. And also because the tracking is different. So I mean, even if they kind of end up a little bit... Oh, and you can kill the Phantom. It's just, he will summon another one. So you're better off just continuing to damage him. Awesome fight. Awesome boss fight. One of my favorites in the game. A ceremonial sword held in Pontiff Sullivan's left hand, representing the judgment of the moon with a magic closer to sorcery than any existing lunar power. Its dark blue hues, deeper than the darkest moon, reflect Sorcerer Sullivan's true nature. A ceremonial sword held in Pontiff Sullivan's right hand, representing the profaned flame. Long ago, when Sullivan was yet a young sorcerer, he discovered the profaned capital and an unfading flame below a distant tundra of Irithyll, and a burning ambition took root within him. So that sword is bathed in the profaned flame. And now we get to continue with our progress. This is a major area for PvP. One of the arena sites. One of the better ones. I like the atmosphere. And so up here, I did cut quite a bit of this out, but I think you can kind of see the giants kind of lying in that area. Not all of them are dead. I think when I went through off camera, maybe there were four giants that were alive. And so we still have Aldrich's deacons. So obviously we're on the right track to get closer to Aldrich. And really you want to come up this way because down in these guys are ready to launch fireballs at you while you are fighting the giants. So this is efficiency, we'll say. Just making sure that when you do go down through there, and especially if not the giants, these guys. So this looked really, really good for a minute, and his buddy hopped in, and I could not get the last hit on this guy forever. Like, I just couldn't hit him. I could not freaking hit him. I mean, if I looked at him hard enough, he'd probably die. But the dual-wielding spears, I mean, they stagger you so much. I just want to hit this guy. All I want to do is hit this guy. And then his buddy goes down pretty quickly when I've got no distractions. Yeah, he went down pretty quick. That familiar sound, isn't it? Oh wow, I didn't realize you could see that off in the distance there. I love this game. So as we come up to the clearing up here, I think I missed the bonfire that was close by, which is frustrating because if I did, it was behind an invisible wall. I really don't remember if I did or not. I know there was one thing behind an invisible wall that I missed, and that's going to be at the end of the episode. But coming up here, everything really, really looks like Anne Orlando. And is this not like PTSD inducing imagery? Up here, you don't need to drop off, but you gotta make sure to get this item. I think this lets us buy, it either lets us buy large shards or chunks. Then you just go up the stairs and then you come this way. And if there was any further question as to what this place is, things get real familiar. This statue here, that switch, an invisible wall. Now, I don't remember if we did the Gwendolyn boss fight in Dark Souls. I don't remember. I know we let Priscilla live. I don't remember if we did Gwendolyn or not. I don't know why I was just beating that one down. I think I was trying to see if they would actually break like they do in Dark Souls 2, because that game sucks. And the reversal ring, that's a gender bender ring. You put that on, and I guess your character will become female or male, depending on what you started as. So yeah, is this not familiar yet? Mm-hmm. Oh. Oh. So just awesome. And we got one other little thing to do. I've watched a few playthroughs of this game, and one guy really did not like this, how this pathway is hidden. He's a jackass. So it's an invisible walkway. However, that's canon. Like, Seath made invisible walkways to trap people and to hide how to even get close to him. And he was in service to Gwyn.
Name thyself, stranger.
At Anne Orlando.
I am Yorshka, captain of the Dark Moon Knights. What beckoned thee to such a place?
So this is another
Thou
covenant.
thinkst too. Very well. Captain to this knightless company I remain. I will grant thee purpose.
And we got that gesture from Sirius.
Thou'st journeyed far.
Oh, what was her name?
Hear my voice. If thou shalt swear by the covenant to become a shadow of Father Gwyn and Sister Guinevere, a blade that shall hunt the foes of our lords, then I place thee under the aegis and the power of the Dark Moon. Thou art now a blade of the Dark Moon, the only knight of our company. Swear this oath and face thy solemn duty.
Yeah.
Oh, good blade of the Dark Moon, welcome home. If I can provide thee succor, only tell me how.
Kind of take a look at her
Long
tail
ago,
and her feet.
Our father Gwyn, lamenting the waning of the fire, became cinder of his own will. Now, the fire is linked by the champions who have come in his stead.
So that's what led to Dark Souls
Such
1.
is the will of Father and the gods. And so the Dark Moon Knights took arms to watch over those who link the fire. But long ago, our company lost its last proper knight. Only its covenant was preserved to this day, until the time of thy visit. Heirdom taketh many forms, indeed. May I pose thee a question? This tower, this prison, stands tall and solitary, the contraption bridging its lower reaches long unmoving. So, by what path didst thou here ascend?
Here you can kind of mess with her a little bit.
Art thou a creature of the air? Or other winged thing? Oh my. I imagined it might be so. Then thou art a dragon? Or perhaps a crow? Well, whatever thou beest, thou art wondrous strange, yet strangely familiar, visitor. Off so soon? May the Dark Moon watch over thee.
You can kind of get a little hint of her loneliness there. That's sweet. And so here I'm trying to get a better view of her face and her body, but I couldn't Couldn't get it. Now the other thing we got from Cirrus was the Silver Cat ring, or the Lucky Cat ring, which was rather fortuitous. It's almost like she knew we were gonna find Yorshka. And so the theory is that she is some offspring of Priscilla? But she speaks like Gwendolyn, so she, even though she is saying Father Gwyn and Sister Guinevere, that was what Gwendolyn, the founder of the Dark Moon Blades, that was his mantra, his oath. So I don't believe that she is insinuating that Gwyn is her father and Guinevere is her sister, or Gwyn is her sister, or no, I'm sorry, Guinevere. No, I just knocked my controller off. More so just that she's upholding the tenets that the Dark Moon Blades were founded on. And so the thought is she's some relation to Priscilla, and what that may be, don't really know. It's hard to say, hard to pin down. So our little stalker is gone. Now we're gonna see.
Speak thy desire.
See if she knows what's going down.
Greeting, good tidings. The time is ripe to greet her. The girl awaits thee in the hidden dark moon chamber of Anor Londo. So thou mayst
Yeah, there's something weird about their dialogue.
Ah, gracious lord.
Or just some of the dialogue.
Your spouse awaits you. You are very near. Please, take the sword of avowal. May you be the truest lord of Londor yet.
So we get a sword. So now we go back down that same chamber. And I have an edit right here, because I stopped playing just to make sure I was recording, even though my freaking audio was off. There's Henri, the large shroud over her face. That noise is awful. So we got 3 more dark sigils, a black gaping hole in the flesh that resembles the brand of an undead. The darkness of humanity seeps from this bottomless pitch-black hole, the gap filled by the accumulating something. I didn't catch it. So she's dead, and we pick up the spell Chameleon that she was using to stalk Henri. So that seems pretty brutal and tragic. However, her story can end one of three ways. Either by marrying us, which you just saw, not exactly a strong endorsement. She can find Horace, and I believe she can be killed by him. If she's not killed by him, she will go one of two places. If you tell her where Horace is after you kill him, she will go there and wait and hollow, and then you'll have to kill her there too. Or she will go to an area kind of on the way to the Cathedral of the Deep. It's kind of a little offshoot. I don't believe there are any items there beforehand, but there are just a bunch of little tombstones. So we assume it's the children that they both grew up with who were sacrificed to Aldrich. So if it's any consolation, her story isn't over yet. We saved her from hollowing out and knowing that Horace went hollow. So is kind of the best outcome we could have given her. So this is a Red-Eye Silver Knight, and he is tough. And this is also a really good spot to grind. Kind of one of the first good grinding spots in the game. You take out those two Silver Knights, you take out the Red-Eye, and then once we get the doors open, there are a bunch of slimes in there that are pretty easy to take out. And before, we were wondering if our archer friend may have been our giant friend. And sadly, it's not. The giant blacksmith died here. How sad. He was such a good guy. Such a good giant. Such a good blacksmith. So sad. This place is overrun with sludge and slime and mess. More deacons that need to be taken care of. But again, at least we know we're getting close. There's not... Yeah, I don't... Well, at least not right now. There's one thing we can do later in the game that I still haven't done yet. I gotta remember how to do it, but there's really not much to do in here aside from just clear it out and get to the boss. Which... It would have been cool to kind of see a little bit more of Anor Londo. However, at the same time, I think they probably would have been accused of just reusing assets from the previous game and just like how cheap that is. And So I can appreciate them not wanting to push it too far, to really only giving it kind of like maybe a fifth of the scale of the original. Ugh, and misery, just that thing, just that awful thing. I just want to get out that door so bad. And at first I was thinking it would leash, but boy did it trick me. Oh man, did it trick me. So more than anything, I'm just trying to get as close to the bonfire as I can, because I know if it kills me at the top and I gotta deal with it and those two knights, no way. That, I mean, aside from the obvious reasons, that's kind of one of the only enemies in this game that I don't like. It kind of seems not to belong here. It looks like something pulled directly out of Bloodborne. And if you go back to the first Dark Souls, like, there are some creepy monsters and some disturbing looking monsters that don't look like the beasts from Bloodborne. You do gotta watch out, because there's still some slimes that'll drop from the cathedral ceiling. But that just kind of, yeah. I'm not a big fan of those enemies being in the game. I would have preferred something, I don't know, more with the Dark Souls aesthetic or tone, whatever you want to call it. And we finally made it to the boss fog. Now, once I kind of looked at things, I was not quite ready to go, and so I think I did a little bit of leveling, maybe a little grinding, and came back. So now we are ready for Aldrich, Devourer of Gods. So there's a little controversy. Obviously Aldrich has been consuming Gwendolyn. Half of Gwendolyn is sticking out the top. However, the shroud at the waist and the body trickling down, that looks like Gravelord Nito. And the scythe that he has there, that looks like Nito's scythe. So it's oh, and the boss music here, this is a layered track of the Gravelord Nito boss fight and the Gwendolyn boss fight. So there is a lot of evidence to support that Nito is somewhere in there. This attack is full devastation. As soon as you see him start to draw that bow, it is just terrifying. Like, I would say this is, as far as the main game bosses go, hands down this is the hardest. Now there are some hidden bosses, or some DLC bosses, that are phenomenally difficult. But as far as vanilla, and of course it's in this room. Of course it's in the room where you fought Ornstein and Smo. How could it not be? And I was doing good on him at the start, but once he goes into that final phase, man, it's just so many things are coming at you from so many different angles. It's just tough to get any consistent hits off on him. And man, talk about the absolute nitty gritty. No Estus left. He's got like less than an inch of health. I just went for it. Sometimes you just gotta go for it. And you know what? I died. But I also got him. Yeah. What an epic showdown. And ultimately, the whole reason I came out on top is because of the undead curse. So, how powerful are you really, Aldrich? Devourer of gods? Couldn't devour this undead. And wait, yeah, I don't know how I did a lap there. And no boobies, no boobies to see, just a ring. The cinders of a lord left by the Abyss Watchers. If the lords will not return to their thrones themselves, let them return as cinders. The Watchers of the Abyss swore upon their shared wolf's blood, which also served as their mandate as lords. Cinders of a lord left by Aldrich, devourer of gods. If the lords will not return to their thrones themselves, let them return as cinders. Aldrich became a lord by devouring men, but was disillusioned with his throne, and so took to devouring gods instead. I think I got a lot more reading to do. Okay. I don't know what I was talking about. Must have been really, really good. It is said that the giant blacksmith of Anor Londo was once the blacksmith of the gods, gifted the blacksmith in the shrine. When Aldrich ruminated on the fading of the fire, it inspired visions of a coming age of the deep sea. He knew this path would be arduous, but he had no fear. He would devour the gods himself. I can't believe I didn't look at the soul of Sullivan. It's aggravating. I'm not doing a very good job of tracking the lore in this game. But there are also, there are Vati Vidya. He has some just amazing lore videos on his channel. Dave Control Live, he gets on my nerves with a lot of his stuff. Plus, I don't think he ever finished his Dark Souls 3 playthrough. Oh yeah, Aldrich dreamt as he slowly devoured the god of the Dark Moon. In this dream, he perceived the form of a pale girl in hiding. So the Life Hunt Scythe is what we get from the soul of Priscilla in the first Dark Souls. This golden bow is imbued with powerful magic and is most impressive with moonlight arrows. Longbow of Dark Moon Gwendolyn, who is gradually devoured by Aldrich. So,
My, the coal of that peaceable giant. Seems like ages passed. I imagine his passing was long ago. I miss the old bugger, I do. My thanks. I'll be sure this coal is put to good use. I'll be smithing weapons never afore seen by the likes of ye. It's but a small service to pay my humble respects.
Our lord and liege. I presume thy holy vows are sworn? Wonderful. Now thou art the true and deserving Lord of Hollows. With the spouse, the strength to claim the fire is thine. Thy lordship, I prithee wrest the fire from its mantle. I, Uria, and all Londor embrace thy impending lordship.
What have we here?
really trying to not forget what I was talking about.
This inscription reads, Quelana, the ancient deity, one of the witches of Izalith. The last of them who wandered the lands. Then she must have returned to Izalith after all. But I regret to say, I cannot accept this. Quelana's pyromancies are for witches, and must be learned from a mistress. But thank you for allowing me to peer upon such a thing. If only I were a woman.
Dave Control Live, he's just, I really like his lore videos and some of the stuff he puts out. Of course, I missed this. But he's just incredibly obnoxious. But Vadividya does some really, really phenomenal videos about the Soulsborne lore. I was trying to see it. There's another one in the room, so if you just kind of go in guns blazing and try to start a fight with that one, there's one right around the corner there who all of a sudden you'll be fighting to, and you're about to see how hard just fighting one of these stupid things is. So, the Dark Moon Bow and the Life Hunt Scythe were items you could get from Aldrich's soul, but nothing relating to Nito. So that's kind of the counter argument is, okay, you don't get the Gravelord sword dance, or none of those miracles. You don't get any weapons. You don't get the Grave Lord Great Sword. So I mean, those are compelling arguments. Those are legit arguments. I kind of don't think it's Nito, but I don't know. I get it. I can see it. I can certainly see it. But yeah, that boss is ridiculously hard. Just crazy hard. Fun. Both of the bosses in this area, the Pontiff and Aldrich, super challenging and super fun to boot. These enemies, I don't really. I remembered I wanted to come here. There's a pretty pretty spiffy little item we can get. Did I seriously miss? It sounds like my post-commentary days are over. Okay. Main thing is we just don't want to pull that other one. And I don't want to die. Good luck with that. Oh, I rolled right into that.